Well, welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today I'm trying to wrap up a couple little pieces on this Infiniti QX80. I just did timing chains, high pressure fuel pump lift, cam and puck. The high pressure fuel pump had started to leak fuel, which means it washes the oil film off of the puck and lifter cam that's chain driven. It can also cause a stretched chain, which this one also had. So we replaced all that, and we had new VVT solenoids in it, which I questioned the quality of, because if they're not an OE part or a Hitachi valve, I don't really care for them. But the customer was confident that they were new and they were going to be okay, so we put them in. And we're getting codes, P0011, P0014, and a P0021, and a P0524. The 524 is a low oil pressure code, which could be a number of things, but I believe it's due to a solenoid sticking open. I believe that because the P0121, is it 121? I don't know. It's a lot of numbers going through my head right now. Anyway, the 21 code is bank A timing advanced more than the ECU commanded, and that happens when the solenoid sticks open and dumps oil pressure, which can cause your low oil pressure code to kick and your low oil pressure light to come on. So I'm going to pull this thing around. We're going to put new VVT solenoids in it. And I also need to see where my AC is leaking at. Because although I took this thing apart and put new seals in all of the points that I removed when I had the AC apart, which was the two hoses that connect to the hard lines and the one high side line from the condenser to the hard line. I put new O-rings on all those, but I can't pull vacuum on it, so I have a massive leak in the AC system somewhere, so we need to figure out where that's coming from. So I built a tool to just pressurize the system because it's such a big leak. I don't want to lose a whole bunch of Freon trying to sniff where it's coming from, and it won't hold it long enough to make oil show up, so you got to come up with a creative solution, I suppose. Let me get this thing into bay, and we'll check the AC so we can verify that and get those parts coming, and then I'll start changing VVT solenoids. I got the key. I've driven this truck about 150 miles since doing the work, and our fuel efficiency is coming up rather nicely. For just a couple hundred miles, we're already up above 15. I'm expecting it to be around 20 when it's all said and done. 181,000 miles. Our engine light's on for all our codes.
No part.
What's that?
No part. That part you looking for from AutoZone, they don't have it.
Okay. That would have been nice to know this morning.
Well, yeah, Teresa said, well, I ordered it this morning, and when you called, we had to call them and say, hey, where's our part? Well, we don't have it. She said, they're supposed to call us right away if they don't have it. I said, okay. So when,
waste my day.
I said, when can you get it? Well, I wouldn't have it till Friday now. It's like, well, I don't think that'll work when I have to wait for it before we do.
That's my timing cover. You can see my old variable valve timing solenoid has screens on it. The new one, the Hitachi ones, don't have screens. These vehicles actually have screens in the front cover, or at least they're supposed to. I'm getting ready to throw this cover back on here. This cover has to be removed to replace the solenoid on this side because the solenoid hits this bracket that goes in here and holds all these parts. So this is why I recommend replacing these units when I'm in here doing this job. They're not hard to change while I've got it apart. They're a lot more complex to do when you've got it all back together in the vehicle. So I just ran my bead of sealant. I'm going to try and stick it up in here without causing any leaks, and then we'll put it back together, and I'll take it for a drive tomorrow and see if we have a solution to our codes. I'm having codes for this driver's side VVT for the solenoid. I think it was a P11 and a P21 if I remember correctly. I'll have to look, but it's running great. I've put 190 miles on it, but I've got these codes, and I have one other concern that I think is related to the solenoid, but I won't know until I get the solenoid put back together. So yeah, everything's doing pretty good. I was getting an engine light for battery temperature sensor, which is part of the feature, as it's described in the manual, of the variable charging system. And this vehicle from the factory regulates battery voltage through the engine control module to charge battery, and a lot of people have decided they don't like that. So there's a little blue wire on this 4-pin connector that people cut, and it shuts the variable charging off, and it just does maximum battery charging all the time. It's actually better for the battery, it's worse for mileage and emissions, but this car has been snipped in that manner, so that's some battery codes that I was getting, and I don't have to worry about that because this vehicle has been modified to not use that feature. I'm not sure the owner knows that that's been done. I believe this owner has purchased this vehicle fairly recently, but it is what it is. So this is your battery temperature sensor, and it reads voltage going through, or amperage going through the ground cable. And this 4-pin connector has the blue wire cut, and it could be hooked back up to operate as it normally does, but that's the way it came to me, so that's the way it's gonna stay. It's looking pretty good. My oil pressure's good. My oil level is good. Need to put a little more power steering fluid in. But I think this one's close to being returned to the customer. It's exciting.
And that'll wrap up that one. She's headed back home, back down south. Another Infiniti fixed and back on the road. Ended up putting in both solenoids, both the VVT solenoids on both banks were kind of lazy and leaking. They were brand new products, but unfortunately brand new in today's day and age doesn't necessarily equate to quality and brand new. So we put some brand new Hitachis in it, which are OEMs, and all of our problems are resolved. Air conditioning situation, after 181,000 miles, the original AC compressor had given up the ghost, guessing when we depressurized the system that some of the seals just no longer sealed up, and it was very much leaking out of the AC compressor. So new AC compressor back on it, recharged the system. She's back in business. We put a couple 100 miles on it over the couple of days to verify everything is good. The last thing you want to do as a quality automotive facility is to fix a vehicle, and then hand it back to a customer, and then they have more problems. Even more so when they are shipping the car to you and from you. You want to check and verify, double check and verify, dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So that one is done. We got more work to do. We got I think 2 or 3 more of these things on the way. Apparently the world has discovered that we hot rodders know how to fix those complicated Infiniti V8s. So thank you for all of you who are interested in this kind of thing and who are sending your vehicles to us to get them fixed. We will continue to work on them as quickly as we possibly can and get them back to you in a proper working order. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of crazy stuff. Back to work. See you later. Bye-bye.